All right, guys, I'm going to bring up Alyssa on screen. Here we go. Hello, Alyssa.
Hi,
And
Megan, and it's Alisa.
Alyssa, I'm so sorry. I have a good friend that is, when I read it, it's the same way, but when we pronounce it, it's Alita. And so I can remember that a little bit better. Alisa. I'm so sorry. I should have asked. So today we're going to be talking about some really awesome things. I've been talking to parents lately who are feeling stuck when it comes to their kids being picky eaters. When it comes to their own health, they feel like this is a big obstacle and they need to know how to navigate changing their kids' food habits so they can work on it for themselves. And so I'm having several guest speakers, including Alyssa, in uh, my Facebook content and all my other content. So she is an early childhood education specialist with her own picky eater, and she uses her skills both in the classroom and at home. And she's got some awesome tips to share with us today about her experience in both settings. So yeah,
Well, thank you, Megan. It's nice to be here today.
thanks.
Yeah, I definitely have seen a lot of picky eaters in my time, and definitely it's a struggle because we really just want them to, eat food and be healthy and happy, and like it's amazing how picky they can be and how determined they are, to not branch out. And in my classroom, I want and to have like a healthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
I really don't like the bad food, good food, and
Mm.
that whole thing. So I definitely like borrow. We all borrow a little bit from, I think it's Elmo with the like the sometimes food. I think it was Sesame
Yeah.
Street that did that. Like that we talk about food as um, what our body needs to fuel us, like what our brain needs, or like talking about it as it's what our body needs so that we can run fast and grow tall and that kind of thing. So like conversations about what food does for us rather than like putting it in a category of good and bad. It's just like broccoli definitely helps your brain better than a cupcake will. So talking about it that way, and just like monitoring your own self, and your own talk. So realizing that oh no, I'm not going to talk about how I need to go for a walk now because I had a bag of Cheetos. So like
Mhm.
some of that monitoring my own talk as well, and making sure that other adults are kind of taking a moment to think about that, um,
Yeah. Like
and what we're
really,
surrounding the kiddos with.
yeah, like really thinking about. Yeah, I'm gonna mute you real quick. Really thinking about what we're saying and how that's affecting our kids too about our own bodies. Like I know they hear everything we say. We look in the mirror, like, oh, I look this way, or I don't like the way I look. They hear those things and they listen and they take it on as well. Same thing with that relationship with food.
Yes, definitely. Um, I think taking that into account and then modeling it. So I know I model a lot of, I mean, I have the same 3 and 4 year olds and then they move on. So but I can always go, I'm not sure about this food, or, ew, I don't think I like things that are green, but I'm going to be brave and try it. And definitely I have a very wide, view on trying it. You could touch it, sniff it, squish it, um, lick it, nibble it, and spit it out in your napkin. And like I've done those things in front of my students, and so they know that it's definitely okay to do that. And then at home, like sometimes, I mean, I've tried new ways to make something to make it more appetizing, and occasionally it will not turn out. And I'm always the first to try it, and I'll tell my kids, "Ooh, don't judge this vegetable by this recipe." I'm like, you can try it if you want, but if you don't, like, I definitely, burned this or something. So I think just giving that, example to the kiddos that, what, yeah, you were gonna try it different ways most of the time, but then there are some times where it's okay not to eat it. Like, if you burn it.
So yeah, just that honesty piece. Like, yeah, like this didn't turn out so good, so maybe next time it'll be better. Like, and I don't like it this time either.
um, so yeah, that's one of the ways. Definitely a lot of thought and talk, thinking and talk about how um yeah, new things can make us feel feelings, like we might feel really uncertain, or we might be nervous about how something is going to taste, and what's going to happen. And um I think parents feel that too, but don't recognize it. And as I think a society, we don't talk about that emotional aspect sometimes as much as we could. So just, acknowledging that, for the kiddos, that, that's okay to feel like we can still choose to be brave and choose to say, our body really needs different foods to grow and be healthy, and like changing that through that kind of talk as well. So I do that for my students, and I try to do it at home when my kids were littler. Now, I mean, now they're 12 and 15, so I'm kind of like, yeah, you know. So eat your vegetable because but yeah, definitely with my 3 and 4 year olds, it's a lot more fun and a lot more explorative, and trying to build some of that comfort in, trying the new things, and being okay with that we don't know what we're going to think about it. So yeah, that unknown aspect.
So really addressing the emotions there, like, okay, yeah, like that's scary trying it, and also like just having fun in the first place with it, like just making it a good experience. Can you give me an example? I know you gave me some before of like what you might do if the kid is get some peas or something green on his plate that he doesn't like or she doesn't like. Well, how would you, I know you gave me some, like, well, what would you do to encourage the exploration of it?
Well, I think I had an instructional coach that had the best idea. She's like, she would call it, "Who's on the green team today?" Like, did you try? And since trying is such a big, open thing in my classroom, I was like, who's going to try something green today, even if you don't think you like it? Like, and so, that way, they'd be like picking up something and smelling it, and they'd be like, I'm on the green team. And we like clap and be like, hooray, so and so's on the green team. Um, and then, then you're generally the kids are like, oh, that was okay. Like they didn't have to eat the whole plate of peas, or they didn't have to eat the whole salad. And that was okay, and that we would celebrate just that little step. I think the rest of the class would kind of see, oh, okay, like I can do that. Or even like some of those little competitive ones that are like, I can do one better, I'm going to put it in my mouth. And so yeah, just making it like a fun and playful experience overall. Like, are you on the green team today? Or like I'd have kiddos that would eat their oranges instead, and even that's a big deal for them too. Like, are you, oh nope, I'm on team orange today, I ate more oranges.
And celebrating that with them. That's awesome. Yeah. Well, how do you, so if they don't eat the food on their plate, because, sometimes just picking it up is a win, and so they don't finish it. How do you overcome that mindset that you're wasting food if a meal isn't finished?
I know at home, I would just kind of like let it go. I would give my kids smaller portions. Um, Depending in the classroom, we're technically supposed to give them the whole thing, or when if it was a self-serve classroom, like we used to be able to have them just serve themselves, and they get to take, like if they just wanted a pea, they could take a pea. Um,
Mhm.
you know, we would let them take what they wanted and come back for more, but and since things have changed in serving, and adults are plating it a lot more, generally my lunch aides and helpers have done just small servings for all the kids, so that they do have that exposure generally if they don't want it. Like I would do with my stepson, like, there's going to be a green bean on your plate.
Yeah.
I don't like them either. They're your dad's favorite. I'm like, but so we have green beans in this house because it's his favorite vegetable. And like with the kitchen at school, like I don't make the kitchen rules. I was like, but this is what the ladies have. This is what they prepared for us to help us grow and learn. I was like, we need to leave it on our plate and work toward trying it in some way. And then just definitely, encouraging the if they want more after they've eaten something, like give them a little more. I mean, definitely, within adult reason. I know I've had some cooks in the past where like, you know what, you can't give them 9 hot dogs. Like you just can't. Like it doesn't matter if that's all they want to eat. They were like, you cannot give them 9 hot dogs. Like, what are you doing? So we definitely, I mean, within reason, like I would say my kids like, you can have one more, her serving of, whatever that they're liking. And I was like, and then as they get older and you get more comfortable with it and they're able to push them a little more of, hey, if you're still hungry, there's plenty of vegetables, there's plenty of fruit, there's, another glass of water, like, and all those other things, so that they're thinking about doing something more than just their one favorite food and being stuck in that little rut of, I just eat chicken nuggets. That's all I eat. Like when you put the time into it, you can start pushing back against that a little more. And with yourself, maybe thinking like, gosh, yeah, I really want more chicken nuggets, but I forgot to be on the green team today, so I'm going to go have a green bean, and kind of have that thoughtful mindset of, yep, I'm going to make sure I'm going to put different things in my body because that's what I need to grow, and making it that positive choices, and with that mindset of healthy choices from our perspective. But like, just for them, we don't want them to go, I hate healthy food. You want them to kind of go, oh yeah, I want to grow, I want to learn, I want to put different things in, and not find that balance.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes some time to build up to there, but I like the tool, like the steps you're taking to get there is you're really breaking it down. Like just explore, encourage, and scale back. Like don't give them a full plate and expect them to finish it all like that. What,
Yeah.
what do you have any other tips to share?
No, and I mean, I think too, as with my kids, I would actually pull out the serving sizes and I'm like, you know what? A baby serving is what, a tablespoon or something like that. I was like, you owe it to your body to give it a baby size serving, or, oh, you're not really hungry. We're going to look at the clock, and, you can start thinking through things with them. Like, if you're not hungry, I was like, gosh, it's going to be a long time until breakfast. Like, like, let's take a baby size serving, like eat some baby, eat that tiny little bite, and just so your body can be happy until the next meal. Um, so yeah, just those
What
little baby steps.
Yeah, what happens when they do eat that baby? I'm curious, when they eat that baby bite, what response do you see when they just have a little bit, when they say they're not hungry?
Usually, like in my classroom, I know that they'll just start eating some more because they realize, oh, I was just distracted. Kind of how
Mhm.
preschoolers go. But yeah, with my kids, usually sometimes they'll go, well, yeah, maybe I am hungry, or, this tasted really good, so I'm gonna eat, a little more of it. Because you're right, mom. It is a long time until breakfast. Um,
Yeah.
so
When you mentioned something about chew and spit, so how does that apply to your approaches? I really liked what you said about this.
okay, so I know like it is like not good manners. A lot of people really are against any spitting out. But I mean, if it's not okay for them to do that and they're really, really resistant, I've mostly had, it's more kiddos I've had in class. Um, that no, I was like, you have a napkin. I was like, you can spit something out in there and nobody will know. But I'm like, thanks for trying a bite of green bean. Like that's a big deal for you. So yeah, definitely like sometimes they come with a lot more negative, experience in their little lives, because, there's the whole, you have to be a clean the plate club. And I mean, I've been told before as a teacher, like you have to keep at the table until they clean their plate. And I'm like, I have rules that say I can't actually. Um, so yeah, food service rules doesn't let us like even have the food out as long as some of them would clean their plates. But like, so yeah, there's a whole lot of reasons why I can't do it, and I have to find more creative ways to convince them just to try it and that it's okay. 'Cause yeah, some of that, you know, over, you know, I think they're trying the best, but it definitely is sometimes coming off for kiddos is just creating a really negative, and I don't want to, so I'm not going to ever, mindset. And that's not what we want to set kids up with for any kind of food, any food group at all. So I definitely want to give them their positive and comfortable space just to try it and be safe. And And sometimes I have their parents go, they started eating their vegetables. What are you doing? And I was like, "Huh?" I'm
Yeah.
like, they don't have to clean their plate. I was like, I let them spit it out. Yeah, like so yeah, just making it a fun time. And like celery is like down my hands down favorite food to eat with kids because they are so much to talk about. Like it's crunchy, it's stringy, like you can pull it apart and smell it, and there's just so many ways to explore that particular food. It's just yeah, it's a fun one. So yeah, like I can get kids to sit down and they'll eat all their celery and no dip or anything. So I mean, and when you put that time in and give them that space and that safety and um like you can see amazing things happen, and it's not like completely my doing. Like they're just kind of with that guidance of well, like what does it smell like? Like can you what does it sound like when you break it? So those kind of silly things. Like so yeah, being silly at the table I think is one of my big hallmarks. Like just, have fun with it. It's supposed to be an enjoyable experience at a meal.
Mhm.
Um and when it gets to not be, I think definitely as an adult we're going to take that step back and go, okay, it's not working. How can we move forward in a better way?
Yeah, I love getting down kind of almost on their level. Like, how would they look at this if they weren't so negative about it? How would they look at this in a fun way? Oh, celery, like you could build things out of celery. Like you could have so much fun. Okay, so Elisa, if this, I got that right, right?
Alisa.
Elisa, okay. I'm like, like repeating it in my head. Um, if people want to learn more kind of what you do with parents and kind of helping them, how can they get in touch with you?
Right now, I do have a Facebook group. It's a little more geared toward some of my other interests. I, yep, choosing to thrive. It will be my parent coach like name and whatnot. I that neck injury I got in February is not. It's literally slowed me down. Like I was like, oh, who would have known? Like whiplash would be such a hard thing to overcome.
Mhm.
I'm like, I did my stretches. Can we move on? But yeah, definitely it's yeah, it's kicking my butt. So I mean that will be what it will become and where that I'll be sharing that contact information when it's official.
Yeah, so if you want to follow Elisa's journey into parent coaching and kind of all the fun things she's learned over the years and see how she can help you and your family, you can get in touch with her that way. And so, anybody watching this, I want to know if you find yourselves stressing out over meals and aren't really enjoying them anymore. We can help you find an easy, effective, enjoyable way to help your family and your health. This is what Seth and I, and he's not here, he's watching the kids. Seth and I are experts in. We've helped tons of parents regain their energy, reduce their stress, meal planning, and lose weight without losing their minds. And just sitting down to a meal that is less stressful with lots of tips from picky eating experts and kind of using those principles with kids so that you can sit down and be that healthy role model without stressing out about what the kids are eating and in that environment. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can message me or comment on here and we can chat about how we can help your family. And also, join Lisa's group and follow along her journey. I'm excited to see how it unfolds as your timeline comes along. That'll be really neat. Yeah. So, do you have anything to add?
I don't think so. Like this was fun. I love getting to talk about kids and food and making it fun. So this was so fun.
I appreciate your time and just all your insights and firsthand experience.
Thank you.
All right.